Hi, my name is Bhatti. I'm the PES product manager, and we're here at Gamescom.
So what's new when it comes to this year's version of PES?
There's a bunch of new features for PES. We've really focused on the gameplay. So it's the responsive controls, it's the new collision system. We've got a new AI system, so you don't have to trigger runs manually. It's all happening around you as well. We've got new camera angles, we've got new visuals using more of Fox Engine. Some of the big announcements here at Gamescom as well. As you can see right behind me is the UEFA Euro 2016 license that we've signed. And also we've announced our demos coming out next week on the 13th. Really confident. And for Europe especially, we've announced a new cover as well.
So talk about the UEFA license and how many teams that brings and what that adds to this game.
So it adds nothing to PES 2016. It's a license acquisition of a tournament, which is every 4 years. It's the first time that Konami have owned the license. It's usually something which our competition has. So it's a big coup for us. It's a statement to say that, yeah, you know, some of the licenses we sometimes don't get acknowledged for, but when something comes available, we are very aggressive and we're going to go and get it. So the real life tournament itself starts next year, and we'll announce therefore what we're going to do with this special license next year.
When it comes to this year's game, talk a little about how many teams there are, what type of depth there is there.
Yeah, sure. Well, the licenses hasn't really changed anything negatively, you know, and that means that I'm really happy to say we're still exclusively licensed in the Champions League, exclusively with the Libertadores, which is Central South American team, Sudamericana, the Asian Champions League. We've got a bunch of European leagues like La Liga, the second division. We've got Ligue 1 and Ligue 2 in France. A whole host of teams. We're going to announce some really good news for the Latin American audiences as well. Over the next few weeks, we've got road shows going on in Chile and Argentina. Later in October, we've got Brazil as well. So we've got some really good announcements coming for PES for licenses.
Talk a little bit more specifically about how you guys are adapting the gameplay this year and what people will notice when they pick it up.
Sure, actually, yeah. I think the focus for us is to make it really responsive. I mentioned that, but the key thing is we try to distill what made PES really magical back in the day. You know, we had a few tough years with PES and we got overtaken, and in the past we were always ahead, and we tried to figure out why we were ahead, and it's all about making you feel like you're in control. So as soon as you press the button, something happens. As soon as you move the stick, something happens. But at the same time, it's PES. We have that depth. So even though it's super responsive, it's still even more responsive when you control Neymar, who's our cover star, because he's a great dribbler. When you pass the ball, you got people like Pirlo, who's known for being a better passer, and it's more accurate as well. And they're the kind of depth levels that PES has. To balance that, for the first time ever in PES, we've got a new collision system, which is basically everything's being calculated in real time. So you get players reacting, falling, complaining, but also if they don't need to fall, they'll continue, they'll stumble, and they'll go for the ball again. So they're the really key things that you'll notice as well as soon as you play the game.
These days, a lot of people like to play online. Can you talk a little about what you guys are doing on that space?
Yeah, sure. Well, we've got all the key features like 11v11, and also one of our new modes is My Club, which we brought last year. My Club is a team building mode where you can use microtransactions to buy players, really good players to make your fantasy team. Since we introduced it last year, it's been a huge success. So for this year, we've made loads of improvements for this online mode. We've changed the whole menu system. We've made far more campaigns where you can sign different kinds of players based on your preference. So if you want local players, US players, for example, you can sign them only depending on your level of agent. But we also got new training mechanisms in the mode, so you can train your player up, and also experience points. So say if you like a player and he's not so high rated, you can invest that time to build him up to a better player as well. This online mode in particular, we feel is going to be the main online mode being played by all the fans this year.